March 2, 2024, at 0 hours in the burning waters of the Red Sea, the Italian anti-air destroyer Caio Duilio was exposed in a split-second tactical crisis that shocked global maritime planners. Instead of launching her standard Aster missiles, each costing an astronomical $2 million, the commanding officer ordered the ship to engage an incoming Houthi kamikaze drone using only her 76mm OTO Melara Super Rapid gun at a terrifying close range of 6 kilometers. This dramatic face-off exposed a devastating reality for naval strategists, as billion-dollar NATO warships face a mathematical exhaustion trap, burning through multi-million-dollar strategic stockpiles just to destroy cheap, unmanned aerial vehicles. At that exact moment, the Caio Duilio was leading the European Union Maritime Defense Initiative, Operation UNA for Aspides, when her Impar three-dimensional radar locked onto a Samad-3 suicide drone packed with 18 kilograms of explosives rushing at 200 kilometers per hour. The stakes were absolute, because if the low-altitude target evaded this ultra-close defensive perimeter, the entire ship would be left completely defenseless against subsequent saturation waves. This critical tactical decision proved successful, but it triggered intense debate among leading global defense analysts who argue that relying on point defense systems at such narrow margins leaves modern fleets highly vulnerable. On paper, their only tactical salvation against these asymmetric swarms would be a complete overhaul of near-shore engagement doctrines. Did this dramatic choice represent a brilliant, calculated triumph of economic defense? Or was it a reckless gamble that pushed a $1 billion capital ship to the absolute brink of disaster? Before we go on, if you were the captain of a $1 billion warship, would you fire a $2 million missile or trust your gun? Subscribe to the channel for more deep defense analysis and tell me where you are watching from. To comprehend the mathematical trap driving this crisis, defense strategists must dissect the harsh economic realities of asymmetric warfare. The traditional naval doctrines of Western alliances were engineered during the Cold War to counter supersonic cruise missiles and advanced fighter jets. In those high-intensity scenarios, firing a $2 million Aster 30 or a $1.2 million Aster 15 missile was a rational expenditure to save a vital fleet asset. However, when confronting modern low-cost threats like the Samad-3 drone, which carries a manufacturing price tag of only $15,000 to $20,000, the financial equation breaks down completely. This creates a severe cost imposition asymmetry of 100 to 1, heavily favoring irregular forces who can sustain prolonged campaigns without depleting their national budgets. Beyond the economic exhaustion, leading naval experts point to a critical physical limitation built into modern hulls. The Caio Duilio carries her primary air defense inventory within a silver A-50 vertical launching system, which is strictly capped at 48 missile cells. In a coordinated saturation raid where multiple low-cost targets are deployed simultaneously, a warship risks running completely empty by the 49th threat, because reloading these 450-kilogram interceptors requires specialized crane infrastructure that is impossible to deploy while at sea. Furthermore, interceptors like the Aster series require a specific minimum engagement range of nearly 2 kilometers just to clear the launch phase and stabilize their internal guidance sensors. If an enemy wave breaches this outer umbrella, the multi-million-dollar missile magazine becomes functionally useless, forcing the crew into an ultra-close perimeter battle. This structural vulnerability was highlighted again on March 12, 2024, when the Caio Duilio faced 2 simultaneous drone targets, demonstrating that relying solely on premium interceptors would rapidly deplete 10% of a destroyer strategic magazine in just 2 minor skirmishes. Faced with this crippling economic and tactical dilemma, the Italian Navy relied on a highly effective countermeasure built directly into their naval doctrine. The primary savior for the Caio Duilio was the specialized OTO Melara 76mm Super Rapid gun, mount equipped with the advanced STRALES modification and dart-guided ammunition. Unlike conventional naval artillery that fires unguided high-explosive rounds in blind bursts, the STRALES system operates by projecting a highly focused radio frequency guidance beam directly onto the tracking path calculated by the ship fire control sensors. The automated gun fires subcaliber dart projectiles at a blistering rate of 120 rounds per minute, launching each shell at a hypersonic muzzle velocity of 900 meters per second, which equals roughly Mach 2.6. Once airborne, these smart projectiles utilize integrated canard control surfaces to continuously execute mid-course flight corrections, riding the radar beam until they penetrate the immediate airspace of the incoming threat. A programmable proximity fuse then detonates a dense tungsten pellet payload, shredding the aerial target before it can strike the hull. The financial impact of this technology is revolutionary, as a standard burst of 7 smart artillery rounds costs only a few tens of thousands of US dollars, effectively flipping the financial burden back onto the attacker. While the ship vertical launch missile cells are permanently capped at 48 units, the lower ammunition magazine of the Caio Duilio stores up to 850 76mm rounds, granting the destroyer the mechanical stamina to sustain prolonged combat operations for several weeks. This successful real-world performance throughout late 2024 has fundamentally altered global warship design philosophies. Moving through 2025 and into 2026, as the Caio Duilio expanded her presence into the Indian Ocean for joint PASIX maneuvers with elite partners like the Indian Navy destroyer INS Surat. This specific combat-proven point defense architecture has become the premier blueprint for maritime forces seeking to neutralize drone swarms worldwide. The tactical triumph of the Caio Duilio has forced a deep strategic division among naval planners worldwide, highlighting a profound dilemma between immediate combat survivability and long-term economic endurance. On one side stands the pragmatic approach championed by the Italian Navy, which accepts the high-stress reality of letting an enemy weapon close within 6 kilometers in order to preserve national defense budgets and maintain operational durability. On the opposite side, the traditional doctrines of the United States and British navies prioritize maximum safety, choosing to expend multi-million-dollar standard missiles to neutralize threats at distances of 40 to 80 kilometers away, despite the severe risk of quickly draining national missile reserves. This operational contrast proves that future maritime supremacy will not belong to the nation with the most expensive technology, but to the nation that can maintain a sustainable financial pipeline when conflict begins. The core lesson here is that modern naval warfare has evolved beyond a pure test of technological supremacy into a brutal war of economic attrition. Relying strictly on premium defense interceptors to counter mass-produced asymmetric threats is a luxury that even the wealthiest alliances can no longer afford without risking total exhaustion. As maritime forces attempt to balance these competing philosophies, the ultimate challenge remains how to guarantee absolute protection without spending oneself into bankruptcy. If you were commanding a $1 billion destroyer in a high-stakes combat zone, would you risk your crew by trusting a cost-effective 76mm gun at close range? Or would you fire a $2 million missile to guarantee safety from afar? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Share your perspective on which naval doctrine will survive the next decade, and do not forget to subscribe so you never miss our next deep defense analysis.